Hi, everybody. I'm John Prost, again, bringing you individuals from the community. I'll start by saying that somebody asked me the other day why I did something for someone. I don't know what it was. And my reaction to them was to say, I think we're here to make a difference. I mean, I think we all kind of agree with that we're here to make a difference. I mean, in our families, in our... So, my friend, Dr. Nat Pernick, 4.5 years ago, decided that you would start a way for Detroit public school kids to get a college education. It's called the Detroit College Promise. But you did this yourself.
That's right, and thanks, John, for having me on your show again.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm a third-generation Detroiter, and I come from an activist family, I guess, in a sense. My father was an Oakland County Commissioner for 29 years, so I have this public-spirited thinking, I guess, about me.
Of course.
And I heard about the Kalamazoo Promise, and I heard about all the problems that as we all had with Detroit public schools, and I thought, well, this is a program that should be implemented in Michigan. I can't control other people, but I thought, I have a business, I know how to get things started, I know how to run things, and I could get this going on a small scale and then build it up over time. So that's what I did starting in early 2008. And we're now 2013 will be our 5th year of giving scholarships. And really the whole point is, it's not just to give scholarships, it's to motivate Detroit students to make education a priority.
It's working.
That's right, it is working, and I know, John, you and I were talking about how in Grosse Pointe, most of the families here, education is a priority.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when I grew up, that was true, and it is true of a lot of Detroiters, but not of as many as we need. So when we say, we have free money for you, come and get it, and to get it, we want you to make the most of your education. I think it's having an impact.
So this is Dr. Nat Pernick, who is a pathologist, and we'll talk about that now also. But it started the Detroit College Promise. The Kalamazoo Promise, which occurred several years ago, came out of some significant donations in a foundation whereby kids in Kalamazoo high schools, if they complete their high school curriculum, and I suspect it's at a certain level in some fashion, they then have money to go to college.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right. It was announced at the end of 2005, and there's anonymous donors, and everyone speculates, but nobody I guess a couple people know who they are.
Right.
Basically, the idea is if you live in Kalamazoo, it's started as partly as an economic development program for the region. Live in Kalamazoo, attend Kalamazoo public schools, and you could get up to 4 years of tuition at any Michigan public college or university. It depends how long you've been in Kalamazoo in the Kalamazoo public schools.
I see.
You have to be at least, to get anything, you have to be at least in from 9th through 12th grade.
Wow.
And then you get 65% of tuition. If you start in kindergarten, it's 100%.
Wow.
So we're copying their model. We don't have that much money yet, but that's what we'd like to work towards.
Well, you have, this is Dr. Nat Pernick, who started and operated the Detroit College Promise, and you have the kids sign a form, a pledge form kind of thing. And how many kids have done that now? So
far, it's 24,000.
That's a lot. It's
a lot, and we do it one at a time. We go into every school. We're trying to get better at it. This fall, we're going to have, we're hiring somebody actually as we speak to go to all the high schools and make sure kids are signing up, and then we go to the K-8 schools. We sign up kids as young as kindergarten.
Wow.
And again, the idea
is... And this is the Detroit public school system.
Right, Detroit public schools.
This is not charter schools.
Right, not charter, not private. I mean, we have limited resources.
Right.
We do have a newsletter that has information about our scholarship and other scholarships. We sort of serve as a clearinghouse for that kind of information. Anybody could sign up for it. They go to our website, DetroitCollegePromise.org, and in the lower right-hand corner, they can just give us their email and get our newsletter. So we try to help the community everywhere, but the scholarship is focused on Detroit public schools. And I think if we can turn around Detroit public schools, that will just have such a tremendous impact for the region. It will get more young families to move to the region, more businesses to come here. And of course, then we can see what happens in the future. But that's where we're focusing on right now.
So tell me about your success. How many kids have you been able to serve?
Well, right now, so we just had a ceremony for students. We had 155 students about a week ago at Renaissance High School. Total is about 350 students. We've given them about $100,000. And the more interesting thing, I think, is we help them get other scholarships and other grants. And we've helped them get, these 350 students, about $3 million. So we give them $100,000, which, you know, is a lot, but the amount we can help them get is really 20, 30 times as much. And we talk about these numbers to the kids because what we really want to say is, look, there is money for you to go to college.
Yes.
And we will help you get it. We'll give you what we can. Whatever we raise, literally every penny that we raise goes to scholarships because I have a business which covers all of the overhead, and we have some other sponsors too. So we'll keep trying to increase that, but we will help you get other money. Half the kids, a little over half, all of their tuition is covered. We can help make sure that all of their tuition at college is covered. The others, you know, it's not so much. Usually the others, it's because their parents are working, so we give them, we give them money and they can.
Well, anybody watching this, and this is a program that goes out 4 times a day, 7 days a week, and we've been doing it for a while, will be thrilled with what you're doing. I mean, again, because we live in an educated community here, very much so, and we recognize this is very, very important. In relationship to these kids, in many cases, I mean, we've talked, but their parents had no experience of this at all. In fact, many their parents may not have even graduated from high school. Do they support this effort?
Well, sometimes they do, but it takes a little persuading. Some people, look, it sounds too good to be true, and we've had a lot of people say, oh, you know, they don't believe it.
Yes.
And, but we publish the names of the kids who are getting the scholarships, and every year, as people see, yes, we're still back, we keep coming back, they realize it. So that's one issue. A lot of, so you and I, and most of your viewers know the value of education. A lot of people, it wasn't important to them, they got a good job, they didn't need it, and it's hard for them because they say, well, you know what, why should my kid have to pay for college? I need them at home taking care of a relative. I need them working and making money, not incurring more costs. So some parents, it is a struggle. And that's a challenge, and it's gonna take a while.
State of Michigan, and there's lots of literacy projects going on with Detroit and Grosse Pointe, Rotary, and others. 47% of the adults in the state of Michigan cannot read beyond a 4th grade level. 47%. So when you are expressing the fact that the individuals say, you know, what does my child need education for? Because I got a job, and I made a living. Well, that's no longer true. It's changed so dramatically. Years back, someone could come and get a wonderful job in the factory or wherever, have virtually no education, and make a great living. That has stopped, literally stopped, because now, in order to work even in a facility of that nature, you need 1 or 2 years of college just to get that job. So what you're doing is really important. We're talking about the Detroit College Promise. Dr. Nat Pernick, who is a pathologist and has a pathology organization. You do research on cancer also. Right.
Just to get back to one point you were mentioning, you know, one of the reasons education works in Detroit, in Grosse Pointe, is because you have so much public involvement.
Yes.
I haven't been there, but I know where my kids are in Berkeley Public Schools.
Right.
And when you go to a parent-teacher conference, it's packed, and I assume it's the same in Grosse Pointe.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I have some friends, they sent their kid to Country Day, which is $20,000 a year. And one of the interesting things about that is, even though they work, these kids, extremely hard, the parents pay a lot of money, they demand that the parents are involved. And the reason they do that is they know that this is what makes the school work. So our focus, we give the money, but in a way the money is to say, look, we want the parents and the students to get involved because that's what makes the school work. It's not the top-down approach. A lot of people, you know, say, well, if we only got the right principal, I mean, that can help, but we really need to get parents excited. And that's really, so as a son of a public servant, that's why I'm excited. We need to engage the public. And of course, when they're engaged in the schools, they get engaged in the city. A lot of other problems that exist are going to disappear, because once people say, oh, I'm involved, then and they take charge of their own lives get better. So it's really, I think, a platform for solving a lot of problems.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a pathology business. Pathologists, as most of your viewers probably know, but we look at biopsies and surgical specimens under the microscope, and we give people a diagnosis. A lot of it has to do with cancer. You know, it is cancer, it's a premalignant disease, it's nothing. It's Crohn's disease, it's appendicitis. So we publish an online textbook that pathologists use throughout the world. It's free, pathologyoutlines.com if anybody wants to use it. We don't ask who you are. It's technical, it's written for pathologists, and then we sell ads to pay for it. And the same people who work at this website, and we've now got about a dozen, they work for Detroit College Promise.
Terrific.
And they're paid for by the website, and that's how we can have an overhead of zero, because we have a lot of staff and they're fielding questions all day, but they're paid for by the website.
How can someone out here help you?
Well, so they can visit our website, DetroitCollegePromise.org. They can sign up for our newsletter. That's one thing. They can volunteer. Maybe they want to help sign up kids at a school. Maybe they're a DPS grad. Or,
sure.
They can make a contribution. We have a button on our website. Whatever they want to give, through the end of the month, we have a matching grant. 50% of what you give will be matched.
Terrific.
Maybe you want to have, you have some other ideas. You'd like to collaborate. You have your own program, and we can help each other. So just give us a call.
The idea is just fantastic. And I appreciate what you're doing so very much. It's just fantastic. And what I'll try to do is to get you to be a speaker, for example, at the Grosse Pointe Senior Men's, at the Grosse Pointe Rotary, the Detroit Rotary, other places that you can one-on-one tell this story and get some help from a number of us, because what you're doing, you're making a fantastic difference, and you must feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel good, and I know that people in Grosse Pointe and other areas, everyone wants Detroit to be successful, and public schools to be successful. People are sometimes a little frustrated about how to do it, but we've really got a great program. We only pay for success. The money only goes to kids if they graduate and go to college. So,
wow.
So that's why I think that's why I'm so excited about it, and was happy. I mean, I work for free. You know, I don't think my wife is that crazy about that, but I know how important it is. So
keep it up.
All right, thank you very much.
It's really well done. Keep it up.